The reason you haven't achieved your goals has nothing to do with circumstances and everything to do with character. You lack the character trait that separates achievers from dreamers, the willingness to keep going when every fiber of your being wants to quit. You've become comfortable with letting yourself down, comfortable with broken promises to yourself, comfortable with mediocrity. This comfort with disappointment has become your greatest enemy because it's convinced you that this is just how life is. But successful people understand something you don't. Character is built in the moments when no one is watching, when no one would blame you for quitting, when every logical reason says to give up. Those moments reveal who you really are. And right now, they're revealing that you're not yet the person your dreams require you to become. There comes a moment in every person's life when they stand at a crossroads. One path leads to mediocrity, to a life of what-ifs and should-haves. The other path leads to extraordinary achievement, to the life you've always dreamed of living. The difference between these two paths isn't talent, luck, or circumstances. The difference is commitment. Most people think they're committed to their goals. They say they want success. They talk about their dreams. They even make plans. But here's the harsh reality that separates the achievers from the dreamers. Wanting something and being committed to getting it are two completely different things. When you're merely interested in achieving something, you'll do what's convenient. You'll work when you feel like it. You'll quit when things get tough. But when you're truly committed, you'll do whatever it takes, regardless of how you feel, regardless of the obstacles that appear in your path. Let me tell you about Jennifer, a single mother of two who was working 3 part-time jobs just to make ends meet. She was tired, frustrated, and felt trapped in a cycle of barely surviving. One day, she looked at her children and made a decision that changed everything. She didn't just wish for a better life. She committed to creating one. She enrolled in night school while working those 3 jobs. When her car broke down, she took the bus. When she was exhausted, she studied anyway. When people told her she was crazy for trying to get a degree at her age with her responsibilities, she kept going. That commitment transformed her from a struggling single mother into a successful business owner who now employs over 50 people. The difference wasn't that Jennifer suddenly became smarter or luckier. The difference was commitment, real commitment, the kind that doesn't waver when things get difficult, the kind that doesn't make excuses when obstacles appear, the kind that understands that success isn't about feeling motivated every day, it's about being committed every day, especially on the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. You see, most people approach their goals with what I call lottery ticket thinking. They hope something will happen, they wish circumstances will change, they wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect conditions. But committed people understand something that separates them from everyone else. There is no perfect moment. There are only moments when you decide to act or moments when you decide to wait. And waiting is just another word for giving up in slow motion. The brutal truth about commitment is that it requires you to burn your bridges. When you're truly committed, you eliminate the possibility of retreat. You remove the safety net of, I'll try and see how it goes. You stop giving yourself permission to quit when things get uncomfortable. Commitment means you've decided that failure is not an option, and you'll find a way or make a way no matter what. Think about the people you most admire in any field, the athletes who make it to the Olympics. Didn't just hope they'd get there someday. They committed to a daily routine of training, discipline, and sacrifice that most people wouldn't endure for a week, let alone years. The entrepreneurs who built successful businesses didn't just have good ideas. They committed to working longer hours, taking bigger risks, and persisting through more failures than their competitors were willing to face. But here's what happens when you lack true commitment. You start strong, then you slow down when enthusiasm wears off. You make excuses when obstacles appear. You convince yourself that maybe this isn't the right time, or maybe this isn't the right goal, or maybe you should try something easier. You become a professional starter who never finishes anything significant. The cost of half-hearted efforts is enormous. It's not just the goals you don't achieve or the success you don't experience. It's what happens to your self-respect when you consistently let yourself down. It's what happens to your confidence when you prove to yourself over and over again that you can't be counted on to follow through on your own commitments. It's what happens to your dreams when you teach yourself that they're not worth fighting for. Commitment is the ultimate success skill because it's the foundation that everything else builds upon. Without commitment, talent is wasted. Without commitment, opportunities are missed. Without commitment, knowledge remains unused. But with commitment, average talent becomes extraordinary achievement with commitment. Small opportunities become life-changing breakthroughs with commitment. Basic knowledge becomes powerful wisdom. The question isn't whether you're capable of achieving your goals. The question is whether you're committed to paying the price that achievement requires. Because make no mistake about it, everything worthwhile has a price, and that price must be paid in advance. Success doesn't go on sale, and it doesn't offer payment plans. It demands full commitment, full effort, and full persistence until the goal is achieved. Today, you have the same choice that Jennifer faced, the same choice that every successful person has faced. You can remain interested in your goals, hoping they'll somehow happen, or you can become committed to making them happen. You can continue making excuses for why you haven't achieved what you want, or you can commit to eliminating those excuses from your life forever. The choice is yours. But understand this, your life will be a direct reflection of the level of commitment you bring to it. Nothing more, nothing less. Now that you understand what separates real commitment from wishful thinking, let me share with you the exact formula that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. This isn't theory or philosophy. This is the practical blueprint that has been used by millions of successful people throughout history. When you master this formula, you'll never again wonder why some people succeed while others struggle. True commitment rests on three unshakable pillars, and like any structure, if one pillar is weak, the entire foundation crumbles. But when all three pillars are solid, they create a force so powerful that nothing can stop you from achieving your goals. The first pillar is crystal clear vision. Most people think they know what they want, but when you ask them to describe it specifically, they give you vague, fuzzy answers. They say they want to be successful, but they can't tell you exactly what success looks like. They want to be wealthy, but they don't know how much money they need or by what date. They want to be happy, but they haven't defined what happiness means to them. Clear vision means you can see your goal so vividly that you could describe every detail to another person. You know exactly what you want, when you want it, and why you want it. You've written it down in specific, measurable terms. You've created a mental movie of yourself already having achieved it. This clarity gives your mind something concrete to focus on and work toward. Let me tell you about Robert, a warehouse worker who decided he wanted to own his own trucking company. He didn't just say, someday I'll have my own business. He got specific. He wanted to own 5 trucks within 3 years, generating $500,000 in annual revenue, serving construction companies within a 200-mile radius of his city. He wrote down every detail, the type of trucks, the insurance costs, the hiring plan, even the color of his company logo. That crystal clear vision became his roadmap to success. The second pillar is burning desire. Clear vision tells you where you're going, but burning desire provides the fuel to get there. Desire isn't just wanting something, it's needing it so intensely that you're willing to do whatever it takes to achieve it. It's the emotional force that drives you to work when others rest, to persist when others quit, to find solutions when others see only problems. Burning desire comes from understanding your why. It comes from connecting your goal to something deeper than surface level wants. Robert's burning desire didn't come from wanting nice trucks. It came from his determination to provide a better life for his family and to prove to himself that he could build something meaningful. When you have a why that makes you cry, you'll find the how that makes you fly. The third pillar is massive action. Vision and desire without action are just daydreams. But when you combine clear vision and burning desire with massive action, you become unstoppable. Massive action means you don't just take action, you take more action than anyone else thinks is necessary. You work while others watch television. You study while others complain. You persist while others give excuses. Robert didn't just think about his trucking company, he took massive action immediately. He got his commercial driver's license while still working at the warehouse. He saved every penny he could. He spent his weekends learning about the trucking business. He talked to every truck owner he could find. He researched routes, calculated costs, and built relationships with potential customers before he even owned his first truck. By the time he was ready to quit his warehouse job, he already had his first truck and 2 clients waiting. These 3 pillars work together to create what I call the commitment test. This test separates the real achievers from the wishful thinkers. And here's how it works. When obstacles appear, when setbacks occur, when people doubt you, when you feel tired or discouraged, you ask yourself 3 questions. First, is my vision still clear? Can I still see exactly what I'm working toward? Second, do I still have burning desire? Do I still need this goal badly enough to keep fighting for it? Third, am I taking massive action? Am I doing everything within my power to move closer to my goal? If you can answer yes to all 3 questions, you keep going. If you answer no to any of them, you've found the weak link in your commitment, and you know exactly what needs to be strengthened. Most people quit right before their breakthrough because they fail this test at the crucial moment. They let their vision become fuzzy, their desire fade, or their action become inconsistent. But committed people use this test to recommit themselves at the exact moment when quitting would be easiest. Success isn't complicated, but it is demanding. It demands that you build your commitment on these 3 pillars and that you never allow any of them to weaken. When you master this commitment formula, you join the small percentage of people who consistently achieve their goals and live the life they've always wanted. Knowledge without action is worthless. You can understand commitment, you can feel inspired by stories of success, you can even have perfect clarity about what you want, but none of that matters if you don't translate that knowledge into immediate, consistent action. The difference between dreamers and achievers isn't what they know, it's what they do with what they know. The power of immediate action cannot be overstated. There's something magical that happens when you move from thinking about something to actually doing something about it. The moment you take action, you shift from being a spectator in your own life to being the director. You stop hoping things will change and start making them change. Most people have this backwards. They think they need to feel ready before they act. They wait until they have all the information, all the resources, all the skills, and all the confidence before they take their first step. But here's what successful people understand. Action creates readiness, not the other way around. You become ready by acting, not by waiting. Waiting is the enemy of achievement because it's based on the false belief that there will be a perfect moment when everything aligns, but that moment never comes. There will always be something you don't know, something you don't have, or something you're not sure about. The people who achieve extraordinary results are the ones who act in spite of uncertainty, not because of certainty. This is why I teach what I call the 24-hour rule. When you decide you want to achieve something, when you commit to a goal, when you make a promise to yourself, you must take some action toward that goal within 24 hours. It doesn't have to be a big action. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be something real, something concrete, something that moves you even slightly in the direction of your goal. The 24-hour rule works because it prevents you from talking yourself out of your commitment. It stops the voice in your head that says, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll begin next week, or I'll wait until conditions are better. When you take action within 24 hours, you prove to yourself that this goal matters, that this commitment is real, and that you're serious about making it happen. Let me share the story of Lisa, a teacher who decided she wanted to write a children's book. For 3 years, she talked about this goal. She had great ideas. She read books about writing. She even bought a special notebook for her story ideas, but she never wrote a single page. Then she learned about the 24-hour rule. The next day after making her commitment, she sat down and wrote the first paragraph of her book. That paragraph led to a page, that page led to a chapter, and 18 months later, her book was published and became a bestseller in children's literature. The difference wasn't that Lisa suddenly became a better writer or that her ideas improved. The difference was that she stopped planning to write and started actually writing. She moved from preparation to execution, from intention to action. But here's the challenge that everyone faces. Motivation fades. The excitement you feel when you first commit to a goal won't last. There will be days when you don't feel like taking action, when the work seems hard, when progress feels slow. This is where most people fail. They mistake the temporary absence of motivation for a permanent loss of commitment. Maintaining momentum when motivation fades requires you to understand something crucial. Commitment isn't about feeling like doing something. It's about doing it regardless of how you feel. Professional athletes don't train only when they feel motivated. They train because they're committed. Successful business owners don't work on their companies only when they feel inspired. They work because they're committed. This is why building the habit of daily action is so important. When you make taking action toward your goals a daily habit, you remove the need to rely on motivation. Habits run on autopilot. They don't require decision-making or emotional energy. They just happen because they've become part of who you are. The compound effect of daily committed action is where the real magic happens. Most people underestimate the power of small actions taken consistently over time. They want dramatic results from dramatic efforts. But the truth is, dramatic results come from ordinary actions performed consistently over extraordinary periods of time. Think about water slowly dripping on a rock. Each drop seems insignificant, but over time, that gentle, persistent action can carve through solid stone. Your daily committed actions are like those water drops. Each day might not seem to produce visible results, but over months and years, they create transformations that seem impossible to those who don't understand the power of consistency. This is also why you must learn to overcome the voice of doubt and fear that will try to stop you. That voice will tell you that you're not qualified, that you don't have what it takes, that you should quit while you're ahead. But committed people understand that this voice isn't telling the truth. It's just trying to keep you safe and comfortable. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. When doubt and fear arise, you don't have to eliminate them completely. You just have to act despite them, feel the fear, and take action anyway. Acknowledge the doubt and move forward regardless. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action in the presence of fear. Building the commitment lifestyle means making daily action toward your goals as automatic as brushing your teeth or eating breakfast. It means creating systems and routines that ensure you're always moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. It means becoming the kind of person who follows through on commitments, who does what they say they'll do, and who never gives up on what matters most. When you truly commit to living differently, when you stop making excuses and start making progress, when you replace hope with action and wishes with work, something extraordinary happens. Your entire world begins to shift. Not just your external circumstances, though those will change dramatically, but your internal world transforms as well. You become a different person, stronger, more confident, more capable, and more alive than you've ever been before. The transformation that occurs when you live a committed life touches every area of your existence. Your relationships improve because people respect and trust those who follow through on their commitments. Your health improves because committed people take care of their bodies as well as their goals. Your finances improve because committed people don't just earn more money, they manage it better. Save it consistently and invest it wisely. Your entire quality of life elevates because commitment creates a positive spiral that lifts everything it touches. But here's something most people don't realize. Commitment is magnetic. When you become truly committed to your goals, you begin attracting opportunities that were invisible to you before. People want to work with committed individuals. Investors want to back committed entrepreneurs. Employers want to promote committed employees. Partners want to build relationships with committed people. Why does this happen? Because commitment is rare, and rare things are valuable. In a world full of people who start things they don't finish, who make promises they don't keep, and who give up when things get difficult, a truly committed person stands out like a diamond among rocks. Everyone can sense it. Everyone respects it. And everyone wants to be associated with it. Let me tell you about Michael, a construction worker who decided he wanted to become a real estate investor. He had no money, no connections, and no experience in real estate. What he did have was unwavering commitment. He spent every lunch break studying real estate investment strategies. He used his evenings to drive through neighborhoods, learning property values. He saved every extra dollar, even if it meant eating peanut butter sandwiches for lunch every day. He attended every real estate investment meeting in his city, even though he felt out of place among the suits and ties. His commitment was so obvious, so consistent, and so genuine that experienced investors began to notice him. They started sharing advice, introducing him to opportunities, and eventually one investor offered to partner with him on his first deal. Today, 15 years later, Michael owns a portfolio of over 200 rental properties and has helped dozens of other people get started in real estate investing. But it all began with that initial commitment and the consistent actions that proved he was serious. The ripple effect of your commitment extends far beyond your own life. When you live committed to your goals, you inspire others to commit to theirs. Your children see what it looks like to follow through on dreams. Your spouse sees what's possible when someone refuses to give up. Your friends and colleagues begin to raise their own standards because your example shows them what's achievable. This ripple effect is one of the greatest gifts you can give to the world. In a society where mediocrity has become acceptable, where people celebrate participation more than achievement, where everyone has an excuse for why they haven't succeeded, your commitment becomes a beacon of hope. It shows others that success is still possible, that dreams can still come true, that ordinary people can still achieve extraordinary results. But let's be honest about something. Living a committed life isn't always easy. There will be setbacks, failures, and disappointments. There will be times when you question whether your goals are worth the effort. There will be moments when giving up seems not just reasonable, but logical. This is where the true test of commitment reveals itself. Committed people don't avoid setbacks, they use them as fuel for greater determination. They don't see failure as a reason to quit, they see it as feedback for improvement. They don't let disappointment defeat them, they let it educate them. Every obstacle becomes a stepping stone. Every setback becomes a setup for a comeback, and every failure becomes a foundation for future success. Consider the story of Patricia, who started her own catering business with a dream of serving her community and supporting her family. In her first year, she lost money every month. In her second year, a food poisoning incident nearly destroyed her reputation and her confidence. In her third year, her biggest client canceled their contract, leaving her scrambling to pay her bills 3 times. Patricia could have quit with valid reasons 3 times. Her commitment carried her through. She used the financial losses to learn better business management. She used the food poisoning incident to implement stricter safety protocols that made her business stronger. She used the contract cancellation as motivation to diversify her client base. Today, Patricia's catering company serves corporate clients across 3 states, employs 25 people, and generates over $2 million in annual revenue. But more importantly, she has become living proof that commitment can overcome any obstacle. The compound rewards of consistent commitment are truly remarkable. Every day you stay committed, you're not just moving closer to your current goal, you're building what I call commitment muscle, like physical muscle that grows stronger with consistent exercise. Your ability to commit grows stronger with consistent practice. The goals that seem impossible today will seem routine once you've developed this muscle. The challenges that intimidate you now will seem manageable once you've proven to yourself that you can overcome anything. Living the committed life also means accepting responsibility for creating your own legacy. What will people remember about you? What example will you leave for the next generation? What proof will you provide that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things? Your commitment isn't just about reaching your goals, it's about becoming the kind of person who proves that anything is possible with enough determination. The time has come for you to make a choice that will define the rest of your life. You can continue living the way you've been living, hoping things will somehow get better, waiting for the right conditions, making excuses for why you haven't achieved what you want. Or you can commit, truly commit, to creating the life you've always dreamed of living. This choice will reveal who you really are. It will show whether you're content with mediocrity or hungry for excellence. It will demonstrate whether you're willing to pay the price for success or if you'd rather continue paying the price for failure. Because make no mistake, you're already paying a price. The question is whether you're paying the price for discipline or the price for regret. The committed life is calling you, it's challenging you to become more than you've ever been before. It's daring you to achieve more than you've ever achieved. It's inviting you to join the small percentage of people who turn their dreams into reality through the power of unwavering commitment. The moment you decide, really decide, that you will no longer accept anything less than the life you desire, everything changes. The moment you commit to taking whatever action is necessary, for however long it takes, your transformation begins. The moment you stop making excuses and start making progress, you step into the life you were meant to live. This is your moment. This is your opportunity. This is your invitation to greatness. The only question remaining is, what will you choose?